Alright, just making another quick video here. Kind of like the last one. I noticed that I pulled one of my cars out of parking that had been in there for a while to put the new overhead exhaust muffler, the performance one that just got released to PS4 or whatever. Went to put it on there and it made less horsepower. So today I was continuing that. This is another one that I put together and I've had in parking for quite a while. It has just the regular non-performance rear mufflers on it. But I noticed that this one also is one that I dynoed before I put it in parking, making 910 horsepower. So the first thing I want to do before I do anything is I want to take it right back to the dyno and see if, just like the last one, if it ends up dynoing for less now, which will be kind of odd. But I haven't done anything to it yet, other than get out of parking. So let's see what happens. Man, the audio in this game is so loud. Well, I'll be damned. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. Because I'm almost positive that after I dynoed that last car, I did not do anything to it once I put it in storage. But let's put the new mufflers on and see what happens, see if anything changes. And right now, it's looking like maybe I did something. I thought I already bought some, I guess not. Alright, well, everything seems to be normal for this car. Now it has me wondering what went wrong on the other car. Let's figure that out. Okay, so this car is the one I'm talking about. Measured in at 924 horsepower. Let me take a quick look here and see if I can check the transmission and everything, make sure it's still got performance transmission. Yep, performance transmission still. Dude, I don't get it, man. It's got all the... Looks to have all the performance parts to it. So why is it making so much less horsepower? Not to mention this car shares a lot of the same components as the car I just ran. I don't get it, man. What resulted in such a difference in power between this car and that other one? See, it's got corners distributor, wires, transmission, exhaust. I do notice this doesn't have performance pipes here, but are they even available? They are available now. Let's try this. Could it be that at some point that I mixed these exhaust pipes up right here? And let's pull these back off. Put the non-performance variance back on it. Now let's send this thing to the dyno again, see what happens. Maybe at some point I've swapped the motor in and out and put the wrong damn exhaust back on it. Man, I'm at a loss. Not a loss, but a loss. I don't know what could have caused that difference in that. See, and I don't think it's anything to do with in here. Something I have not messed with. I'm wondering if it's got something to do with it is the way that you can adjust the transmission, I thought. I just don't know how. Is it actually in the dyno area? Could it be something in here? No. Appears I haven't messed with this at all. I don't think. It didn't look like anything moved. Try it again. Man, I do not get it. I don't get it at all. Well, what do I got here? Alright, so this one made the 900. Still not. But that one was showing like 924 even before I put the other exhaust on it. Try swapping the motors out. See if that does anything. I really thought that maybe something had changed. One of these parts that caused the drop in power on the one car, but if that's the case, it should have happened to them all. And it didn't happen on this one. Oh, damn it. Here's the problem, is keeping up with which motor is which once I pull it out. Okay, no, that shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so... oh, it would go to this. Alright. I just want to make sure I'm not switching the motors up. So this one's the one out of the Rollett or whatever. So let's put this in my barn map area. There we go. So that tells me this is the motor that came out of the vet. This ends up being it. I'll have to tear that other one down. No difference in them. Ooh, I might put oil in it. Hold on. That's what it is. That is very weird. That means something in this motor is not quite right. I do notice one thing. This motor's been built after the supercharger. So this car was built after the most recent, not the most recent, but the first update where they added the extra performance parts. But that still don't explain why this car, which was built way before that, was seemingly making more power. So really it doesn't explain much. I think I know what happened here. I bet them sneaky people, what they did is probably the power numbers that were being put out by the regular supercharger and supercharger intake at the time. They left those power numbers alone and just made those numbers go for this, the performance parts, and they toned down the power made by the non-performance versions. Has to be, because that's the only other difference, is this motor was made before they put out the performance version of the supercharger. So I bet what happened was this car made 924 power. Then once they put out this performance update, they dropped the power numbers for the stock supercharger and intake. So then when I brought this car back in, bam, it was magically making like 40 less horsepower. Which is irrelevant, I know, because this is just a game, but still, why do that? Why wouldn't they have just boosted the numbers for this thing? That's literally the only thing I can think of. Because this car obviously hadn't been touched since that update, because I still had the regular supercharger and shit on it. Sadly, that's the only car that I had that was probably built before then that I actually did dyno numbers on anyway. A few of these other cars were probably the same way, like this car and this car, but I never did friggin' dyno. Man. That's gonna be something else I'm gonna have to add to them now. Let's put the other, the performance version of those on, but that's gotta be what it is. Why didn't they just up the numbers on the new ones? Make no sense. And even then, it's still making less horsepower. Which also doesn't make sense. Because even now, it's only making 910. And I'd have to double check my video, but I'm pretty sure it was making 924. But they also could have done the same thing. As a matter of fact, let's find out. Oh, why did I do that? Just out of curiosity, let's see if this goes up to 924. I mean, it may not, but you never know. Let's find out, though. I do wish you could, I swear I thought 18, when you dynoed it, it showed the car running, and then the screen for the dyno popped up afterwards. If that's the case, I wish it still did that, because I hate just staring at this screen. Made more than 924. Oh, you know what though? Let's move the car back to the lifter. If you remember, the car originally also had, well, no, that would still negate what I'm thinking it might be though. Unless, of course, these parts were out already and I didn't know it. But I did have the non-performance version of these on here. Let's see if this makes 924. No. Alright, well, I'm still not really 100% sure what happened, but to me it does seem like before bringing on some of these performance parts, they tinkered with the percentages that the parts give you extra. And I think in the same sense, they also took down the percentage of the factory parts. I don't know if that's because they didn't want to, you know, if my car's making 924 before, and then now they're going to throw these 2 extra performance parts in here that increased by 4% each, then maybe it would have took the numbers too high and they didn't want that, possibly. So they was trying to keep it balanced out to where, you know, once you put these parts on, you would see a bit of a difference, but it wouldn't be too blown out of proportion. Maybe it's the only thing I could figure. That's gotta be what it is, because that's the only thing that would explain why this car made 40 horsepower less, bringing it out of the parking. And I know I haven't messed with this car in a minute. I have now, obviously, but I don't know. We'll just call it a day as far as this thing goes. I'm not sure what the exact reasoning is for what happened, but it's the only car I got that I noticeably done it. But like I said, it's the only car also that I had before the performance stuff that was dynoed, I think. So I don't think I dynoed this other car. Let's see here. That's one I've been working on. These I didn't do anything with. Dyno, no dyno. I need to start dynoing my cars, man. Oh, that one's measured. Oh, let's get out of here for a second. Okay, so this car's complete again. I just put the performance pipes back on it, right? Yep. So this one's all performance shit. Alright, so let's go send this one back to parking. I'll have to do a little bit of work to that one to get it back. I'll have to do some work to that motor. But let's try this, because this car, about this car, I haven't dynoed very many of them. I don't think I've even worked on them yet. This one I have dynoed. Let's bring this one in. Let's look under the hood here. Here we go. That's the non-performance supercharger and intake. Put this bad boy in there for a second. Now this one is one that I've dynoed. And I think this one uses an exhaust that could all be performance versions. Yep. So it's got all the performance exhaust parts. And obviously with like the amount of horsepower it's got probably all the performance parts that at the time you could throw at it. But it does not have the performance supercharger intake and supercharger. So this one's one that was built before that update also. So let's go ahead and let's do a quick save game here, which I think it saves when you bring your car in. But let's go run this bad boy in the dyno. So this right here prove whether I'm an idiot or not, because this car did 1139. So let's see if it still does 1139. If it still does 1139, then I'm a complete idiot. But if it does less, then maybe I'm onto something. 1139. think I'm onto something. This car made less horsepower. Not as much. It's going about 16 off. $16 horsepower less than what it did before I put it in parking. And the only difference is that the performance variants of the supercharger stuff are now in the game. So there you go. That makes me feel a little better that I think I've finally pinpointed what caused that issue there, because it really had me scratching my head. If anybody watches this, if you got any other ideas what it could be, feel free to voice your opinion down in the comments. But I really think that's what it is. I think they played with the numbers of what these parts make so that the performance variants being added wouldn't throw it out of proportion as much. You know what I mean? Because it was already making 1139 horsepower. So now with the same setup, it's only making 1123. When I throw the performance variants on there, it'd probably take it up to, if I had to throw a quick guess out, it'd probably be a little closer to 1150. Whereas if they'd have left it at 1139 and throw them on there, it probably would have took it way past, probably in the 1160 to 70 range, maybe. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go and wrap this one up. I just want to make a quick video kind of investigating this a little bit. Hope if you watched it, you enjoyed it. And take care. See ya.